Hello, guys. It is fantastic to see such a great turnout. We're just going to give people another minute or so because we have people still joining. So bear with us. We'll give them another 30 seconds just to get in. It's great to see all these names coming up, guys. You're very, very welcome. Okay, sure, we'll get started. So we still have people joining. Okay, so most of you will recognize myself, and we have the presentation started here as well. Most of you will recognize myself, Katie, as one of the senior account managers here at 3D Issue. I've had the pleasure of connecting with most of you over the years. Just to also introduce who else is on the call as a speaker today, we have Paul, who is our CEO and founder. We have Colleen, who is our CXO, who will be conducting the demo. Colleen has the most experience in fixed and responsive layout. And our CTO, Damien, who you will hear from a little later in the call. Damien has over 20 years in digital publishing experience. Guys, we also have a question box, which you can see. At the top, it's the third icon in. Please ask away your questions. I'll monitor the questions as they come in during the demo. We'll also allocate some time at the end for some more questions. So I know everyone is eager to get started, so I'll hand you over to Paul.
Thanks, Katie. So I will not spend too much time talking. I know that we're all here for the demonstration. So today we're going to be showing things that some of you may have seen before, but there are a few things in here as well that nobody has seen yet. So we're really excited to demo that. So let us just give you, so I'm going to chat for a few minutes and then I'm going to pass you over to Colleen and she will do the demonstration. And then after that, myself and Damien will have a quick chat to tell you about what's next and what's coming down the pipeline. So our history, we're very much from what we refer to as a fixed publishing background, PDFs. We have been working with them now for 20 plus years. I think 2004 or 5 was the first year that we did a flipbook. So it's gone back a long time. So since then, we've seen a lot of changes, especially the rise of mobile. There will always be a place, in my opinion, for fixed publications because what you're talking about is digital magazines or e-replications. They are a version of a product, whether that's a print magazine in circulation or brochures or catalogs. There will always be print publications. There will always be e-replications supporting those. But we are in a mobile first reality where, the vast majority of users on mobiles, they have a particular experience now ingrained into them where they scroll for the content and swipe to change pages. So what we have always been striving towards is how to make our content look better on mobile. And now in this day and age as well, we have accessibility. You have the American ADA Compliance Act and also the European Disabilities Act as well, which are forcing publishers now to ensure that their content is designed in a manner that supports integration into accessibility readers. Digital magazines in their current format and PDFs especially, they are not efficient accessible reader document delivery systems. So that is another reason why a lot more of our clients are looking for content that can reflow into mobile experiences. Digital magazines as well, while they can be indexable, they are not great from an SEO or discoverability perspective. So that is a key thing that fixed or responsive content fixes, because essentially all of the content in a mobile first experience is actually raw HTML text, which can be easily indexed and searched with both search engines, and also just as important these days is AI bots for the various AI platforms. So everybody understands mobile first and how important it is, but print, as we say, is still number one. And what that means to publishers is their designers are already creating these platforms in fixed design platforms such as InDesign for publishers and Canva as well. So trying to get publishers to move across is a stumbling block because it means that you have to invest nearly double the workload because the content is in a fixed framework and that doesn't transfer easily across to a responsive environment. So asking publishers to create responsive versions or mobile first versions as well is doubling the workload. And also it puts additional resources onto the publisher because designing with InDesign is very different to designing a responsive layout, which is essentially web design. So you're dealing with fixed font sizes in InDesign and platforms like that, whereas in responsive design, the fonts are more based on the percentage flow. And Colleen will talk a little bit more on that. So this obviously will slow the output that you put out as well. And there is no magic converter. There is no solution that can take your fixed layout PDF and create an exact replication of it in a responsive environment. There's just no way for that to happen because the ability to reshape the text and the content is paramount in a responsive framework. And also, most PDFs are generated with sub-fonts or subset fonts, and subset fonts only contain the characters that are actually used in that font. So in an editing environment, that subset font can't be used and therefore can't be carried across. So these are all of the things that we have been working on. And what we have been doing is we have been working for about 10 years on a solution on extracting content. So the platform that we're actually introducing today has a lot of proprietary technology in it, but we also have embedded AI into the platform. So with this solution, we are now able to collect content off the page, even if it's an image. If the text is on the image that you're adding into our platform, our system can actually collect that text off and reflow it into this environment. So images, responsive text, it can even generate. And I think a few of you may have already seen the generation tool. We also, with this solution that we're about to show you, we have embedded AI agents in the software that you can now have a conversation with it and tell you how you want that page created. And it will actually build the page in that manner. And what this has done for people that are actually experienced in using Experios, this has actually increased their production fivefold. So what it would now take them an hour to do, they can do in 10, 15 minutes. So without further ado, what I will do is I will now pass you over to Colleen. Oh, first of all, Katie, do we have any questions?
Yeah, I'm just going to jump in there, guys, quickly. We have a couple of questions, guys, coming in, and keep them coming. Peter is just asking, is this still a cloud service?
It can be, yes. So we have always come, when we originally launched our first product, our Flipbook product, our entry into the market was self-hosted. So we allowed everybody to create the publications and host them on their own site. And that's something that we've carried through with this platform. It is a SaaS product, it is online, but you can actually download the publications and host them on your own site as well. So perfect. There is an option in the software. I think, Colleen, you might touch on that or show the option later if you can.
Yeah, can do.
Absolutely. I touched on this sorry, Colleen, 2 more questions. Does it create like-for-like publications?
Yeah, no, so I've touched on that.
Yeah.
You will not get an exact replication, but what you will get is the content carried across, the images carried across, and you'll also get the structure replicated. So then you simply have to touch that up then to reflect the layout that you want. So it'll never be an exact replication because you can't carry across the fonts because you're not getting the entire font there in that PDF. You're only getting a subset of it.
Perfect. And I have one last one. So Eric would like to know, is Experios still a magazine or is it a website or a blog?
Yeah, it's still a magazine experience. So you are essentially creating a web page. that is the structure of the content that has been designed in Experios. But we are very much a magazine experience company, so our content that is generated within our platform is displayed as a magazine experience. So you can still click and drag the page and do a page flip experience, and navigate left to right through your content package. So it is still very much a magazine.
Perfect. Colleen, I'll hand over to you. So.
Okay.
Wonderful, thank you. Awesome. So my screen should be shared. So to begin, perfect. Thanks, Paul. So to begin, we have our AI Assist chatbot. Here we can start that conversation with the assistant. Either type or paste in your request and click send. And what it will do is it can either create content from scratch, you can generate new content, you can work with your existing content on the page, but essentially instead of going at the properties panel or making them canvas edits, what you can do with is a single prompt, you can begin to generate out your content. It usually takes a few minutes to scan your page, it'll think it through, it'll give you your information as well too when it's building out your project. So you can see here, it's getting your brand, it's checking your page, and it's doing all them little tweaks to begin to build out that page. And after a few minutes or so, what it'll do is it will generate a cover block, which is what I've asked for, to generate a cover block with 2 logos and to go from there as well too. So just like so, we have it generated. So you can see here now it gives you a list of what it said it's done. You can continue to further tweak it or edit it, but quite quickly it's created your first block to go from, and then you can edit it. So you can continue on the AI Assist to make edits, but sometimes it's just as simpler to do the canvas edits itself. You can add your animation, you can check for accessibility, but very quickly you've started to design a block that's automatically responsive, that you can check for accessibility with our accessibility validator for ADAD or WCAG, as Paul was mentioning. But very quickly, it's a nice responsive block you can view on desktop, tablet, and mobile phone as well too. You can make tweaks or edits or add to it or go from there, but very quickly you can build out your projects. So this is creating from scratch, working with media already from your library, logos already from your brand. But if you already are a Flipbooks customer or have any PDFs, what you can do is you can work with our new import tool. So at the moment we have the import content, which is just here, and coming soon we have the import structure. Very excited about this feature, but for now what you can do is you can select and upload your PDF. It'll bring in all your pages into this pop-up where you can select how many pages it may be. Maybe it's just your cover page like before, or maybe it's a few pages of a spread. So if an article consists of 1 or more pages, you can just select them in, bring them onto the page, click upload, and what it will do is it will extract all your content. Just to get a quick glimpse of what we're creating, we're going to create this double page spread with just some images. So we have 3 images here, some text, a few headings. Very simple, but essentially what that will do is it will bring all your content in like so. So now that your content's already brought in, what we can do is we can begin to add in our structure, add in our spacing, and go from there as well to make them tweaks and edits we need to do. So again, you can work with your AI Assist to build out your project and continue to add your spacing, add your layouts, and go from there. Or you can just work with canvas edits as well too. So it's a nice way to kind of add in both, blur both together and make any tweaks as needed. So maybe some spacing we can add in. We can also add in some animation as well too. But very quickly you're bringing in your PDFs that's already been built. You're not extracting your images or manually. It does it all automatically. You just add in that little bit of spacing information. If there's something to move around, you can use your toggle to move around as well too. So you can edit everything to suit. And then once you preview it again, you can see how your page looks. So here I have a little bit of animation added here. I can see again how it looks on my different screen sizes. It's automatically responsive as well too, and it gives that scroll experience so when the user can scroll down. You also have that flip experience that you're familiar with as well too, with being able to scroll up and down your page like so. So that is working with importing your PDF content. And yeah, that's the import the content, and soon we'll have the structure as well too. Next, then what we have is we have more tools in our import assistant, our AI assistant. What we have is we have our add a block. So essentially we have a range of templates and layouts there for you to choose from: cover layouts, article layouts, all these different types of blocks that you can select and then add in a request or a prompt to generate some content or create something. You also have the option to access all your saved blocks. So everything you create, you can save and reuse it. It means your designer can come in here, maybe create a range of blocks, lock them down, not give the editor access to your typical blocks, but that means that they can come in here, select a block, click OK, and then maybe prompt in a request, whether that be generate new content on a subject, or it could be, let's say, maybe even you have content that you just want to add into a block. You could just paste your content into the type request. I'll just grab in the prompt I'm going to use now just to pop it in, so like so. And then I can just click the send button again. So it'll go through that whole experience of connecting the block up and adding the block and generating the images. So it'll take a little minute to generate all your images, generate the text, and go from there as well too. But it's just a really nice visual way of building out your content. You have a little bit more design control of seeing what's being brought in as well too. And it allows you to build out a nice block within this section too. So as we can see here, we have a winter block. You have all your content. You can continue to edit or add to it. So maybe there's more spacing I want to add in. It's quite close. I can again go and work with my properties panel, add in that little bit of spacing, maybe add in that animation, maybe add in that accessibility information as well too. But you can quite nicely come in here, build out your page, and go from there as well too. Let's see, so we have 3 images here. I might add in my alt text for the image, just a short description, but then you can see that you're quite quickly building content. When it's added in, you can continue to edit it. You could add maybe more prompts. I want a new image here instead of the one that's already existing. And again, it's all nicely responsive as well too. So that is working with our AI Assist add a block. We then have the option to add an attachment, which is being able to upload an image. So you can either a JPEG or a PNG. You can just select the file you'd like to upload. So this screenshot here, which is just this screenshot. And what I'm going to do today is I'm going to ask it to recreate the layout in Experios. So let's see, the layout in Experios in the page with image and text, and send that request through. So again, it takes them a few moments to analyze the page, upload the image, scan the image, and then begin to construct or build your layout. But essentially, you can use this in other ways. You can say, maybe I have this image, I want to create an article on it, upload the image or attach the image, and ask it to generate an article on it or generate some text on it. Maybe you want to take a color palette from an image, it can do that as well too. It's just a nice way of bringing in your visual elements onto the page and it continuing to generate from there as well too. So just having another little look at the actual spread, and we can see what it creates next. So here it is. It looks to have brought images from my media library. So you can see here, you can swap in your images, you can add padding. I might have to add in a little bit more spacing to here as well too, but it brings the majority of the layout there, the structure there, and then it's just maybe the little spacing tweaks I need, but it's a lot quicker than building from scratch, especially if you're a new user coming in, you like an idea or a design, you want to pop it in, you can work with this to begin to build it out, and then we can continue to do this as well too. In the AI Assist, what we can also do is we can target elements. So instead of making an entire edit on the entire page, what we can do is select the AI Assist icon, and we can type in a request as well too. So I want to bring all this image below because it's quite a long scroll, which is nice on mobile, but on desktop it could be nice to have them sitting side by side. And we can begin to move the text. So move the text below all the images. In a new column. So there we go. So again, I'll just send in that request. It takes a moment, it'll work on the page, and then we can go there from seeing how it looks as well too. So it's just a nice way of being able to, instead of individually dragging and dropping in each element, you can just send the request in. It can do all the heavy lifting, and then you'll have your page there good to go, ready to go as it fetches the information. And yeah, it can build it out as well too. No, there we go. So here it is, and what we're going to do next is we are going to, let's see, is there any other edits I need to do? Again, maybe animation, accessibility, information as well too. Maybe I want to swap in one of these images from an image gallery to make something more interactive, engaging. But essentially, you're able to quite quickly build out a layout from a screenshot. Maybe I want to paste in my text, or maybe ask the AI assist to paste in my text. But quite quickly, you can build something that's all editable. You can edit it, you can change it to suit whatever it may be. Maybe this is your 7th issue, and you can always see what you've created as well too. So it means that everything you create you can reuse, but it allows you to build really nice responsive layouts. That just, it saves all the manual lifting of building it from scratch. It can go from there as well too. And then our last feature, which is our generate. So our generate was one of the first ones we've included, and essentially it allows you to generate either images or text or entire articles. You can pop in a prompt, and I'll just grab the prompt here like so, and I can paste it in. You can assign how many images you want, which would be 3 or 4 the maximum amount, and you can click generate. And what it will do as you generate, it will create that article for you. It'll take a minute. It will generate your images. So the default layout is typically, we have the one layout for now, but coming down the line, we're going to offer a range of layouts to choose from as well too. So you'll have your choice, but just from a single prompt, you'll be able to generate some content that everything is editable. So once you generate it, you can edit it, but it's a good start from just going from a few sentences to an entire article. And you can always build it further as well too. After that, you can generate your images, you can replace images, you could maybe select a certain text element and ask the AI assist to add in more information. Yeah, you can really continue to build that out and go from there as well too. And it usually takes a minute or so to create this, as it's generating 4 images as it generates its text as well too. But once that's finished, we'll be able to see the final article, have a quick preview like so. So here it is. So we have our background image, we have our text here. If I want to add in maybe another one or edit it, I select it again, I can edit it, I can click try again, or I can just add it in and edit it in the text editor. So here we have it here. Again, you could move things around, you can delete things, everything, you can edit it, but you're very quickly are able to build something that you can then continue to edit, go from there. Once you preview it, you'll be able to see it looks nice on desktop. It already has that little bit of animation to it, and you can see it on mobile as well too. So it's just a great way of being very quickly able to build out your project. And then you can scroll through all your 5 pages or so, and you can see how it all looks like so. So that is our 5 new tools. We have our import content, we have our generate, so generating content, and then we have our AI assist, whether you're making small tweaks, generating content, adding in images to either create content from or structures or layouts from, or we have lastly the add a block, working with our templates and adding in your content from there. That's our 5 new tools for creating AI content.
Thank you, Colleen.
Thanks, Colleen. A couple of questions, guys, that are coming through. I know, Colleen, you did touch on the blocks. Bear with me. Does Experios or Flipbooks allow to design within and say like Canva, and then you can convert it into a magazine?
So yeah, you can export it as a PDF or an image, and you can upload it into Experios. So whichever one chooses. So you can import it as PDF or export it as a JPEG or PNG and upload it in through that way and build it that way.
Fabulous. So a lot of our customers have obviously used Flipbooks, so they have built a number of magazines and brochures over the years. They have all been created from InDesign, which I have created from PDFs, as I've required them for both Flipbook and print versions. How would the AI support our needs? How would I transition from what I currently do?
With our import tool, for the moment you're able to import your content. So it's the first step or the first bridge of bringing your flipbook PDF content into Experios and keeping it responsive. So you can do that with our structure coming as well too soon. That will make the bridge a lot more easier. Now you are using typically A4 layouts, so there will have to be small tweaks, but it will do most of the heavy lifting. And then it might be a few layout changes to suit the desktop experience rather than the A4 portrait experience. But that will be the most efficient way to bring in your PDF content into Experios, or alternatively the screenshots. But just if you already have the PDF, why not use it?
Perfect. Can AI generate full multi-page publications?
At the moment, it's page by page, but we're hoping to open it up to more than multi-page publications, and Damien will chat a little bit more about that.
Fabulous. And then, what will I get consistent AI results?
So AI tends to vary, but the more information you give it, the better results you'll get. So if you give a very short request, it'll give something vague, or it'll give you something, but it might not be exactly what you want. So always the more information, the better.
Yeah, and let me just add on that there as well is, you know, it's whenever customers onboard, we do a little session with them where we will kind of teach them how to speak to AI. You know, so I think we have a couple of blogs up on our site where we kind of illustrate the good ways and the bad ways of talking to AI. As Katie or as Colleen just said there, you know, vague input will cause vague output, but the more descriptive you are with your content, the more you give it about the structure that you want, the more accurate it'll be.
Perfect, Paul. Thank you for that. And then one last question, guys. Can I regenerate just a section of the design if I don't like it?
Absolutely. So we have the target. So on each element, we have a little AI icon, and that will highlight it and target it. And then you just type in your prompt and send it away.
Fabulous. Great. That's all for now, guys. Thank you.
All right. Okay. So I think next what we'll do is just very quickly touch on what's coming. So Colleen just touched on the structure import there, and that's something that will become active soon, although that is merely importing a particular article, a PDF section, doing that. But what we're working on at the minute, and we hope to have out December, January, Damien? When are we looking at having this live?
Hopefully December, yeah.
Yeah. So that'll be full publication importation. So Damien, do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Sure, yeah. So as I've touched on, we are working on the structure import, and the larger component of that is being able to reproduce an approximation of your entire PDF as a project in Experios. So you feed in your print quality PDF. You can from there you can select groupings or pages to ignore or what have you. You can merge pages together and so on, and then the system will analyze each of those and generate a page in Experios for each of the pages in the PDF, and give you back a effectively completed project. From there, you'll be able to tailor it, and you'll be able to customize the font families, the colors, and so on, by the brand or your styling, or directly on pages, like it was shown there in our demo.
Okay, and same with images as well. If any of the content inside the PDF, for example, if it's an ad, if the content is embedded onto the page or onto the graphic, the text is embedded onto the graphic, it'll still be able to extract all of that?
Yeah, so it'll work with rasterized pages as well, yeah. So we have a full OCR path on each of your pages, so we don't miss anything. And then we'll also be extracting the images that are used in your PDF as well. Whereas in Colleen's example, it brought images in from her image gallery. The final solution will be to actually use the images directly from your PDF as well.
Okay. So perhaps you can chat a little bit as well about the Markdown, or as we refer to it, the AI search optimization. What is the benefit of? What is it, first of all, and what is the benefit of that?
Okay. So PDFs, Word documents, those types of formats are what we call unstructured documents. They're not really they're not descriptive from a machine or like an AI point of view. And so there are various formats that we can convert your information into or your documents into that AI can understand more. And so where that leads in, we want to introduce that into both Flipbooks and Experios. So if you have an in-house AI solution already, and you want to augment that solution with data in your Flipbooks or in your Experios projects, you can do that. Or a larger component, which will affect marketing in particular, will be AI search. So recent statistics have shown that more people now use AI to do their research or to look for new solutions or new projects or new products or whatever, versus just using a traditional search engine. And so having your content easily consumable by an LLM such as ChatGPT or Google Gemini or so on will allow your documents or your product or your service to surface higher in those situations. The other benefit as well is, for example, I'm sure we've all seen now Google doing the AI summaries in Google search, and just having that more consumable information surfaced for the AI to read will get your content out there more effectively than it just being presented as a web page as is traditionally the way.
Yeah, it's fascinating how quickly AI is becoming the dominant player in search. So Damien, another thing that we're working on, folks, is, again, we in particular understand how difficult it is for users to move from a fixed design layout towards a more responsive framework and laying your content out based on its relationship with the other elements on the page. However, what we're trying to do to simplify that process is, we think we built a pretty amazing platform and editor as it is, but we're looking to simplify that further with a new editing environment that will come into play soon, where you will actually see and be able to interact with the content as it's coming in and flowing into the page. And while, for example, you're uploading a 100-page publication, you don't want to have to wait until all of those pages are uploaded. With our new editor, you'll actually be able to work and delve into the first page once that content has been pulled in. So Damien, perhaps you can chat a little bit about that.
Yeah. So the V2 editor, as we call it, is basically an overhauled editing experience. So while the UI itself will be quite familiar, the main goals are for it to be faster, smoother, and generally more intuitive to use, and also surface some of the more common controls and solve more of the pain points that our users have already told us about. Issues with trying to get fonts, particularly font size in the way they want. issues with arranging elements and pages in different orientations, customizing it per device. If you want a much broader view on desktop, for example, and a more narrow view on mobile, while we handled responsiveness quite well already, there's always that little bit of customization that we've been asked for. So it just kind of, it's an overhauled experience for that editing to bring all those improvements into one package.
Excellent. Okay, thanks. And again, you know, I want to stress as well that Flipbooks is still a core part of our solutions that we provide. And one of the features that we'll be bringing in that Experios and AI is helping us to do is obviously with content extraction, we will be able to pull the content out of the page. So we'll be able to offer people an additional experience where, you know, if they're on desktop and they want to zoom into the page, they can zoom into the page. Or if they're on mobile, they can click on a particular part of the page, and rather than zoom in and force the user to pan left and right, it'll pull the article out and layer it on top, and a little kind of a pop-up, so to speak, where you can just read the article on the page, and then when you're done, you click and it returns to the traditional laid out content, and then you can click on your next article, and again it'll zoom, that content will zoom out to you, and it'll be responsibly laid out depending on whatever device you're choosing to consume that content on. So that's a great little feature that we're adding into the Flipbooks. And then also with this technology, we'll be able to extract all of the content on a page and automatically lay it out into an ADA compliant edition. And whenever the user is opting in to the magazine at that point of entry, if it's an accessibility reader, it will load up the the ADA or the EAA, which is the European version of that. It'll load up that edition that is compliant with that software. So today we're delighted to show you the technologies that we've done and we're launching, but these are also the features that are coming down the pipeline over the next number of months. So the dev guys have been very, very busy. And will be for the foreseeable future. So I think in terms of the product itself and what's coming down the pipeline, that pretty much touches on all of it. So Katie, I will hand over to you to see if there's any more Q&A.
Fabulous. So I have a couple of guys, yes. How could this be used in a broadsheet newspaper environment where there are multiple pictures and articles on a page? Will it be able to parse what pictures go with what articles?
I can take that one. So it does have the context for the pictures and the context for the articles. So in theory, yes, it will be able to match them up. However, if you have a page with, say, 3 articles and one of those articles follows on to the next page, I can't speak I can't say that it will get that 100% of the time where it will understand that. Ideally, with the updates that are coming to the import tools, you'll be able to merge those pages a little bit more easier or more simply. But the understanding of an article yet isn't really there, and the understanding of the page and the layout is what is currently what the features currently built around.
Yeah, so it's not able to follow the content. If it continues on page 4, it's not automatically going to know to go to page 4. But what can make broadsheets quite tricky is, article 1 might continue on page 4, whereas article 2 might continue on page 8. So that's kind of a trickier thing to capture. But what you're saying there, Damien, is for the content that is on the page, it will actually collect that content and pull it into the platform.
Yeah. Now down the line, that may be something that we look at, merging the context across the span of the entire document. But at the moment, it's focused page by page.
It's page by page. Okay, excellent. Thank you.
Cool. Who owns the AI generated content?
You.
Fun. Great.
Not
The,
Katie.
Not me personally, guys.
Okay, not you personally.
No.
Nobody owes Katie royalties.
yeah, the person that
Perfect.
wrote is the person that owns the rights to that content. Now, that isn't to say that if the AI somehow hallucinates out a replication of an already copyrighted work, the original copyright would have to be considered and taken.
Perfect. Thanks, Damien. Would we still create flipbooks or only use the AI created SEO searchable pages?
Oh, I think you would use both. I think there's always a need for flipbooks, the traditional fixed layout flipbooks, because they're a reflection of a product, the magazine, whether you're selling that magazine or whether it's a brochure or something like that. There's always a need for it. But I think what I hope you get from what Colleen showed today is that we've actually built a bridge now on how you can transition that content trapped in that fixed layout into a mobile first or in a mobile centric environment. So I would recommend you guys keep designing the content in the way that you're designing it. But if you're looking to port that content into a mobile experience, use the Experios product, because that makes the heavy lifting so much easier. It takes care of a lot of the arduous and repetitive tasks, and then all the designer has to do is tweak the layout and position the content correctly. Now, one thing that we didn't touch on either is, and Damien mentioned hallucinations. So hallucinations are important to consider when content is being imported or generated. AI, just like humans, can make mistakes. So for example, whenever you're importing an image, it mightn't grab the graphic that you want, or it may create a different version of the graphic. So if that happens, there is a solution, a cropping tool in the software that allows you to look at the page or look at the graphic you've just imported and crop the thing that was missing, and that'll be pulled in then into the content. So.
Perfect. Thank you, Paul. And just to mention, guys, everyone will get a copy of the recording after. Going back to the AI, is there a limit on how much AI I can use?
Yeah, there will be, obviously. Each package will have different tiers. So image generation and content, image generation in particular, content generation to importing contents, there will be various different kind of packages for that, but they will be quite generous.
Cool. And then, Paul, what AI system do we currently use?
So a lot of the stuff, as I touched on earlier, is a lot of it is proprietary, but obviously, we do leverage external platforms. The content collection and the structure identification is proprietary to ourselves. It's something that we built over a number of years, but we definitely leverage AI to do that processing and collection and analysis. And for that, I'll hand over to Damien to explain that part.
Sure. So as Paul mentioned, we have some proprietary tools that we use. And then the output from those gets combined with some other data, with your prompts, with your PDF, that gets passed off to OpenAI. Currently GPT-5, and that will handle the main generation of your layout and structure, and the image generation is handled by Stability AI. That's pretty much it. We have some other tools, but again, they're all proprietary.
Perfect, Damien. And then will the AI learn my style or the type of content that I want?
To an extent, yes. So because we have users with many different many different types of publications under their remit, what you can do is in Experios, when you create your brand, you can tell what type of publications you use. You can, in addition to setting your preferred fonts and colors and logos and so on, it can learn from that information. That's always passed every time. Other than that, each project is its own context, so it can learn within that project, but outside of that, it'll keep it separate. And that's to ensure both your data integrity as well as not training the AI unnecessarily to do the wrong thing in another project or on another brand.
Perfect. If I've already created a project in Experios, can I go back in and use AI to update my project?
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, cool. And going back to pricing, if I don't want to use the AI, is there a separate plan?
Yes, we have several tiers of package, so we definitely have a lower tier package. So let me see if I can pull this across.
And while Paul is finding that, Damien, you might be able to answer, how will the SEO work? Will I be able to fix things like photos or text on the page that are already online?
Good point. So if it's already been indexed, you will need to trigger a re-index of it in Google or in, I believe Facebook also do caching. Or whichever search engine effectively has cached your wrong data or your old data, you will need to trigger a re-index of it. We don't currently, at least, have a connection to directly invalidate on a search engine. But yes, if you republish your project with updated information, it can be re-indexed.
Perfect.
Okay, so you were just asking about pricing. So we do have a tiered package open now for users that don't want to use the AI solution. You may have, dedicated designers, or you may be using an array of templates yourself, so you mightn't use the AI. You might need it to generate because you work off a range of templates and you have them built already. So we will have a tiered package for that. Katie will follow up with you on the price of that. I think it's $99 or something like that. Don't hold me to that because I could be wrong. But then we do a tiered package, and I'm actually showing this because we do have the AI packages traditionally start at $299 per month. And however, we do have a Black Friday promotion that isn't advertised on the website because it's only for existing Flipbook customers, and that is a 2-year deduction at $149.50. So it's a 50% reduction. And then, depending on the number of users and the number of, I suppose, AI sessions and cookies that you want, and I doubt very many will hit the ceiling at all that we have for that. There were, as I mentioned, they are quite generous. But that is essentially the pricing for the platform there. For those that purchase within, when does the Black Friday promotion end, Katie?
The 30th.
Yeah. So to the end of the month, and then the price reverts to the prices that are scored out. So there you go.
Perfect. Thank you, Paul. One question, another one as well. Does it work for multi-language content or translation? I presume this is for AI, guys. Yeah.
Yeah, and the content import and the structure import that's coming will work for multiple languages. Translations, currently we don't have a dedicated tool. However, if you duplicate your content, you could use AI to translate it.
So you mean just create another version of the project, duplicate the publication?
Yes.
And
Yeah,
that
so
leads me on to my next question. Yeah, go on,
all
Paul.
right. There's no automated converter in it that'll, you know, give the user a drop-down list of languages that they can choose to convert it to.
Yeah, we don't have a translate option yet.
Yes.
So
Yet.
But with the options that are becoming available with AI, anything that can help publishing, we will be leveraging. So there is no dedicated solution out there yet, Damien, is there? Or is it just something we haven't looked into including yet?
Yeah, there's loads of translation solutions out there for doing it automatically. It's just building the actual experience in Experios and having the both our client, our customer experience be good for creating that, but also their end readers experience to be good for maybe switching between those languages. We want that a level of consistency and smoothness throughout.
Okay.
perfect. That is all from me. But guys, if you have any more questions, pop them in the next minute or so, and we'll get them answered for you.
So yeah, as Damien was saying there, just while we're waiting on that confirmation, in a couple of weeks now, we'll have the ability for the user to import. You've seen the import with the content. Colleen was showing that earlier, but you'll actually be able to just drop in an entire PDF and let it work away. And then whenever that publication is converted, you can just jump in then and start tailoring and tweaking the pages as you need to go on. You know?
Perfect.
Okay, Kitty, I think we're good. It was a lot.
We're all good, guys. Yeah. Perfect.
Okay, everybody, listen, thanks a million for popping over today. It means a lot. We hope you enjoyed it. And again, we have a lot of new features. It's a lot to take on board. So what we will try and do is, again, if you reach out to Katie, we will be doing some one-to-one sessions. And again, if you need anything at all, just reach out to Katie. And again, you know, we're very interested in your suggestions and your ideas too, and things that you would like to see going into the platform going forward. For example, there will be many clients that are interested in, for example, the translation feature. So that's definitely something to put up on our ideas board. So a lot of the inspiration for our product development comes from one-to-one solutions. So, or one-to-one consultations with clients. So, you know, if there's something that you would like to see or ideas that you have, definitely reach out and chat to us, because once version 2 is out of the way, we're already looking at version 3. So, you know, we can always do with the little nudges and little features that you guys would like to see dropped into the software. So, thanks.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
All right,
Bye.
excellent. Listen, thanks a million. Cheers. All the best, everyone.